Hello YouTube, Wes here, checking in with a brand new episode of the Vinyl Survivor. Welcome, hope you're all doing well, having a great day or great night. The Vinyl Survivor series is a series where I talk about recent listens from my inbox, let you know what I thought of them, let you know whether they're going to be staying in my collection back there or whether they just weren't for me. So let's go ahead and get into it. Got a good stack of records here. First one we have here is a live album from the Canadian group Rush. This is their second live album titled Exit Stage Left. From 1981, this is comprised of live recordings from 1980 and 81. It does contain some edits and overdubs. You know, they Rush being a progressive band, they're very much into perfection and having everything just right. So they definitely went back into the studio and fixed some problems and cleaned things up. But it has a really good sound. It's an enjoyable live album. You know, when bands do that, yeah, it makes it less real, but it makes for a better listening experience. And I'm not opposed to bands sort of doing overdubs and stuff on live records. You know, everybody has their own opinion on it, but for me, it's an okay thing. So I definitely dug hearing this one. You know, you're getting some of their more modern, you know, their late 70s, early 80s works on here, which is really nice. A neat thing about the cover is it does feature sort of aspects of all of their previous album covers. You got a lot of different imagery and stuff on here. And there's some more on the back. It continues on in the back. With like the moving pictures type stuff and things on here. So yeah, really nice 2 LP live set here. There's what the gatefold looks like on this one. Yeah, you got like Spirit of Radio, Red Barchetta, Closer to the Heart, Tom Sawyer. It ends with La Via Strangiato. Really cool. I believe that's an instrumental track on the Mercury Records label, but with custom Rush labels there, so that's really nice. Yeah, so that's Rush Exit Stage Left from 1981 live, their second live album. Yeah, definitely enjoyed this one, and it's going to be staying in my collection. All right, next up, sticking with the band Rush, this is a studio album, their well-known studio album 2112 from 1976. There's the band on the back. And then the gatefold, lyrics on it. Yeah, classic album. Of course, the 2112 Overture. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how the band was struggling at this point. Their previous three albums didn't really do that well. They were at risk of being dropped from their label. They gave them one more chance to make something, and they made 2112, and it was a hit, and that's the beginning of the rest of the story for Rush, so to speak. So yeah, this album kind of saved the band and kept them going. So yeah, really cool album by Rush on the Mercury label with the skyscrapers. So yeah, 2112, I dig it, and it's staying in my collection. All right, next up, staying in the rock genre, but not Rush this time. This time we have the band Duckin with their album Tooth and Nail from 1984. This is their second studio album. Again, this was the album that sort of saved the band. Their first album did not do well. The record label gave them one more chance to do an album. They fought for it, and they did this album, and it saved the band. It was a good hit for them. The band on the back. Yeah, Duckin, definitely 80s hair metal type band, but you know, infinitely enjoyable if you're a fan of the 80s, and it's fun to have some hair metal in the rotation there. So this is nice. This is on the Elektra red and black label. Do like that label quite a bit. Duckin, Tooth and Nail, while this was a fun listen, an enjoyable listen, not necessarily something I feel I would want to revisit again. So since this is a nice copy, I'm going to be putting this in my Discogs store yeah, just a really nice clean copy of this album, and maybe I can find a new home for it. But yeah, I enjoyed listening to it. It's fun, hair metal, just fun to put on sometimes, but not really my thing, so this one's not going to be sticking around. All right, next up, we're going back to the 70s here, and this is going all the way back to 1971 with the debut album from Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds. Self-titled debut, as I said, from 1971. Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds are kind of a light country, pop rock kind of group. Very much sort of a popular style in the early 70s, I would say, along the lines of Bread and those kind of groups. This has their big hit, Don't Put Your Love Out. Don't put your love out on me, honey. That song. There's the group in the gatefold there. And this one comes to us on the ABC Dunhill label. It's the debut album from Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds. Again, I enjoyed listening to this. It is sort of its time. It was a fun listen. It was fun to hear the rest of the album, beyond just the hit. It's not something I necessarily need to keep, and this particular copy happens to have a skip on it, so I am not going to be keeping this one either, but it was an enjoyable listen. All right, next up, moving all the way to 2016 with the 9th studio album by the group Radiohead. This is their album, A Moon-Shaped Pool. Yeah, just awesome album for Radiohead if you're into modern Radiohead. I know people don't really necessarily like it. It's very instrumental. It can be very spacey. But yeah, I just dug this album to death. Yeah, really good album. I'll show you the gatefold on this. And the artwork sort of, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this to you, but it sort of continues on inside the jacket there, that continuation, which is a really nice touch. Got a couple little bonus things here since I bought this on release day from an independent record store. They had some extra little things that they threw in when I bought it. So how to create your own A Moon-Shaped Pool artwork, easy to follow steps, in 66 easy to follow steps. Funny little thing they did talking about the creation of the artwork. I believe this was also a bonus not included inside the album. Yeah, this is just sort of a promotional poster at this store on June 17, 2016. So just a promo poster for the album. Here is one of the inner sleeves. And then again, this being a indie record store release, this is on sort of a very lightly smoked white marble kind of color. Really nice pressing. These are done at Rainbow Records, but they're pretty good for Rainbow Records. Sometimes Rainbow puts out some good stuff, and luckily this was a good one. Apparently on my notes on here it says mastered by Barry Grint at Alchemy Mastering. Quickly show you the second inner sleeve. And then again, white sort of smoky marbled vinyl. So yeah, that's the 9th studio album by Radiohead. As I said, I really dig this. It's very spacey and ambient, and it takes you on a journey, and it can be kind of trippy and psychedelic, and yeah, I dig it a lot, and definitely going to be staying in my collection. All right, next up we have the 2nd studio album by the artist Sturgill Simpson. This is metamodern sounds in country and western, or in country music. I don't know. I always say country and western music like it's that Ray Charles song album, but it's not. Yeah, this is a really good alt country album. He's starting to get more into rock and roll on this album. But still very much an alt country kind of album. So yeah, really good album by Sturgill Simpson. This one has Turtles All the Way Down. Long White Line is a good track. Yeah, just really good album. I do like the artwork on this one quite a bit. Definitely showing off some of that sort of psychedelic sense to it. Really nice. I don't know if I said this, but this is albums from 2014. Definitely getting even a little more psychedelic on the inside here. But don't be confused. I mean, this is not a psych album per se. It's alt country with some psych rock in it. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to explain it. And this is on black vinyl, pressed at United Record Pressing, or ERP, as we will call them from now on. And yeah, not, it's an okay pressing, but it's United Record Pressing. There's going to be some pops and crackles on it. Just that's their pressings. There's no such thing as a quiet pressing from United. They just can't do it for some reason. But yeah, Sturgill Simpson, Metamodern Sounds in Country Music, his second studio album from 2014. Really, really fun. Definitely, if you're looking to get into country, maybe, definitely give Sturgill Simpson a try if you're coming from a rock and roll background, psychedelic kind of background. Yeah, really cool artist, and he's getting more and more psychedelic and rocky as time goes on. So, yeah, this is kind of a nice blend of the two things here, I think, and a really good, solid album from him, and definitely a keeper for me. All right, next up, we started this episode with a live album, and I got another one here for you. This is from 1984, I believe. 1987, sorry. Getting confused here. This is the live album by Simple Minds. This is Live in the City of Light from 1987. As I said, 2 LP live album, Simple Minds. Just an amazing, amazing live album. I love this album. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed listening to this. Never got a chance to see Simple Minds in concert. Definitely a really nicely done live album. It's got this nice booklet inside with all kinds of photos in it. Just really, really killer double live album. So it was really a good experience. It's an amazing sounding live album. It definitely is very clean sounding live album. It's not, you're not going to get a lot of audience noise and that kind of thing here. It's very much sort of soundboard, very clean, very polished recording, which I tend to prefer for live albums. One of the LPs here, and it's probably not going to be able to show up here, but this is on a translucent like Quiex type vinyl, high quality vinyl. So it's very, very good sounding pressing here, very nicely pressed, and whoever had this before me took very good care of it, so it sounds amazing. So yeah, Simple Minds, Live in the City of Light. This one, I think this is one of the ones that came out of the first unboxing I did here at the house of the records I had in storage. And yeah, this is a killer concert, and I'm glad I finally got around to listening to this. And this is definitely something I'm going to be pulling out again and again and again to listen to, because it was a really nice one. Sanctify Yourself, New Gold Dream, East at Easter, Alive and Kicking, Someone Somewhere in Summertime. Just, yeah, killer. Can't recommend this enough. If you are a fan of Simple Minds, try to find this if you can. Definitely an awesome live album. All right, next up, going back to the 1960s and talking about something both electronic and psychedelic, we have the debut album from the Silver Apples from 1968. Dan Taylor and Simeon. Drums, vocals, and synthesizer, a very early homemade synthesizer. Really, really early, trippy, psychedelic kind of music here. Really nice. This is a modern reissue of it on the Jackpot Records out of Portland, Oregon. Really nicely done reissue of this with the nice foil cover. Inner sleeve has some really nice photos of the group, nice vintage photos of the group, and a little bit of liner notes there, just some track names and stuff on it. Yeah, really cool. You get a good idea of the group here. Very much very much a 60s early electronic psychedelic kind of thing, where they're mixing, acoustical instruments. You see the drummer here playing a flute and stuff, and they're just getting all into it, and it's really fun and really trippy and really far out. And I definitely dug this quite a bit. And this reissue is pressed on a beautiful marbled blue and white vinyl. Another one that's done at Rainbow Records, but pretty good quality. I don't think I remember having any kind of issues with the quality on this. Yeah, decent quality pressing of that. So yeah, that's Silver Apple's debut album. Yeah, definitely dug that one, and that's going to be staying in my collection as well. Okay, so next up, just recently purchased the new DJ Shadow album, and this is actually his previous album from 2016 titled The Mountain Will Fall. This one has the really big hit with Run the Jewels on it, Nobody Move, or Nobody Speak is the name of it. Yeah, kind of DJ Shadow mixing his more electronic sample-based kind of works with more production-y, hip-hop-y kind of works. Really fun album from him here. Definitely dug hearing it. I dig that he's getting more experimental at this point, getting more into electronic music, EDM, kind of stuff, but still mixing in his sample-based hip-hop kind of stuff as well. Really cool artwork on this one also. Definitely dug that. This is his 5th studio album. Apparently got a bunch of extras with this one. So there is an inner sleeve with a photo and some liner notes on it. I'll go ahead and show one of these LPs here. So there's one of the LPs, custom labels, pressed at Rainbow Records as well. And then this one has a punch out, what do you call this? Template, or not template, stencil. A punch out stencil, so you can paint the dying guy from the cover on there. You can paint that on something if you want. Maybe make a t-shirt out of it, whatever you want to do with it. Also got a sheet of some stickers from the album cover art as well. And there's a download code, and here's the other inner sleeve with another photo and some more liner notes. If you checked out Ital Tech from the last episode, if you like that kind of thing, you might like DJ Shadow, or vice versa. If you like DJ Shadow and you haven't heard Ital Tech, check that out, because I think you might like it. If you like the more newer electronic side of DJ Shadow, then Ital Tech is going to be something you'll like, I think, as well. Okay, and one more album, and I'll let you go for this episode. Last album of the day here, we have the 2nd studio album by New Kids on the Block titled Hangin' Tough. Yeah, just a nostalgic piece for me from my youth. And New Kids on the Block were huge in the late 80s. This is from 1988. And this was a big album for them. Again, an album that sort of saved the group. Their debut album really didn't do that well. It felt forced, I guess, is the best way to explain it. But this album, they had a lot more fun with it. They got to influence the music themselves some and make it their own a bit, and it worked a lot better. And this was a big hit for them, of course. New Kids on the Block, Hangin' Tough. That's what they're known for. And it's on the Columbia label. So yeah, New Kids on the Block, Hangin' Tough's going to round out this episode of the Vinyl Survivor. This one survived as well, so I believe we had 8 that survived and 2 that didn't. So thank you for watching this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave me any comments or questions you have down in the show notes below, or in the comment section down below, and I'll be happy to respond. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, great night. Remember, there is no bad music, only music you don't like. And we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.